today's video, I'm going to do the top 10 mass market tarot and oracle cards together in one video. I already did the 10 indie oracle and 10 indie tarot. The ones I have are kind of a mix of things that are either meaningful to me in some way, or I like the art, or maybe even things that I've just started working with but want to work with more. So I wouldn't say I have the same attachment to a lot of these as I have to my indie decks, which I use a lot more. I wish I used my mass market more because I have some neat ones and I've been gifted many of them as well. But I actually think I probably have more indie decks than I do regular. But anyway, whatever. Let's go ahead and see today. So the first one I have here is the Shadowscapes Tarot, and I believe this was my first deck. I think I had found her art online and really fell in love with it. And when I found out she had a deck, I bought it sort of as a way of like buying a bunch of art, at once for cheap. So this deck will always have a special place in my heart because it was the only deck I had for a while. I think I've had it at least 15 years. I don't know if it's been out that long, but I'm just trying to remember back, like, what year of my life I can remember using it. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Like the other videos I did, I'm going to try to pull 10 cards. I'm just kind of rambling as we go. But here's the back of the card. And here we have strength. And a lot's always going on in the card, so this video may not be as good in terms of seeing all the detail, but hopefully you'll get a sense of the style. There's a lot of intricacy. This is the 8 of Cups. So that's 2. I think I'm going to pick throughout the deck. Let's see. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright. So now I can show you the others. So let's see what we have. We have the King of Wands, the Page of Swords. Like I said, there's a lot going on, but I just remember really loving the art, and I still do. She does have a guidebook. I haven't used it in a long time, so I can't really speak to it. Oh, sorry. You know me, if you see my videos, I'm a little bit of a klutz. So 9 of Swords. Page of Cups. 9 of Cups. Ooh, this is a nice last card to have. The Fool. I love all the little foxes she has. They're in a lot of the images. So that's the Shadowscapes Tarot. And don't even have the box for it anymore. Let's see. Okay, I think this might be actually the first oracle deck I had. The Shamanic Healing Oracle cards. I found them on Amazon. Maybe about years ago or something. I was looking for oracle cards. I didn't own any. And the artwork just really spoke to me. And it comes with a nice guidebook. So let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have healing energy, burden, and she has a few different decks, and I have another one that I'm going to show you. It's inner journey, discernment, past, present, and future, psychic development. Seeing her deck also made me want to create my own. I never have. I've sort of played around with it a few times. Teaching, perception, what's this one? Letting go, and self-love. So that's the Shamanic Healing Oracle. And let me go ahead and do the other one by, it's her with another person, but it's her artwork. And that is the Empathic Oracle. Again, it comes with a nice meaty guidebook, color pictures, keywords, and I'm going to actually talk about the guidebook in this one because that's what really makes this deck for me. Oh my god, literally just dumped them all out. I'm so bad at this. This deck is, to me, a good example, or a good, example of why I like guidebooks, because to me, the art's pretty, but, I'm not a very intuitive reader, I don't think, and the guidebook is, spot on helpful, especially if you consider yourself an empath, or a highly sensitive person, or just a sensitive person, someone who might need help with boundaries and things like that, whether, I was about to say a positive or a negative way, I just sort of mean, whether that's a sort of a good quality you have, or a quality that, is maybe more of a burden to you, I guess. So let me go ahead and count those out. So that's the back. So it's 1, 2, some of these have gotten wet because my hair is wet. 3, 4, 5. So bad. give you an example, in this case, of reading from the guidebook, and hopefully this turns out to be a good example. So, for number 35, Open Heart, there are those who create and those who destroy. Each needs the other to exist, but those who feel the wisdom of trust need only their own open hearts to exist. As an empath, you sense deeply when others' hearts are open in your own body. At times you internalize this energetic experience and your own heart can close. This begins the lesson of the duality of love. As an empath, your depth of understanding begins to teach you at every turn that the experience of an open heart to yourself teaches the closed heart of others. The light of love is truly the only choice. Unconditional love is the gift of an open heart. Then there's a question. In this situation, are there attachments or obligations that are hand in hand with the love that is being given or received? I was looking at them. I don't know that that one's a super good example, but take my word for it, I guess, that these are. Maybe let's just see if there's one that. I saw this one just come up, so. Oh no, never mind. Okay. Let's try Ranger and see what we have. Contemplation and rejuvenation become my requisite as the days become shorter and the time of rest begins to take hold. For many, the time of winter can become a challenging energetically. Absence of light, temperature change, and the feeling that everything is preparing for rest soon presents an environment that seems bleak and void of the excitement or busyness. But the seasonal change is also a teacher of the knowing that there are gifts found in the winter stillness. Often in our day-to-day grind, we forget where we have come from and what we have accomplished, losing the vital knowledge of what works and what does not. And sitting with this knowledge, an opening is created, and in stillness, a new seed will soon appear, presenting opportunities for new beginnings. Can I allow myself to feel the wonder that's present in stillness? Am I giving into perceptions that are uncomfortable and losing my light within? Does a prolonged time of seemingly no movement make me uncomfortable? Do I need to constantly be doing something, filling a void with busyness? What am I avoiding? The other thing I'd say about this deck is the times I've used it for more than just a one card pull, I find it helpful to sort of not have this spread. So it's sort of like I might ask a question and keep pulling cards until I really see a narrative appearing. So I don't just say like, okay, I'm picking these 3 cards and whatever narrative I see through that. It's like if I pick 3 cards and they turn out to just sort of feel like a dead end or just the beginning of sort of whatever story the cards are telling me that day, I will continue to pull cards until the story, quote unquote, feels complete. And so I have found that one has been good with that. So the next one I'm going to show is a relatively recent acquisition, and I haven't used it a lot. I have featured it in here a few times, but the times I have used it, I have liked it, and I want to spend more time with it, partly because of the art, and that's the Bloodlands Oracle. I love nature. I love both small nature, so like mushrooms and flowers, but also, big storms and mountains, and, just love it all. And this one I feel like has a lot of that sort of grand, natural experience. So let's go ahead and pull the 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. me too. I don't know if there's not a lot of videos with Bloodlands, or if people just really like Bloodlands. But it's some of the videos that I have that have been most watched, so I don't know what that's all about, but I guess other people maybe feel the same way as I do. Alright, so let me just stop for a second and say, so these 10 decks, these Oracle and Tarot decks, they're not necessarily my favorite in the way that like the indie decks were. They're more sort of, I think I might have mentioned earlier, things that have called to me in various ways, or meaningful to me in various ways, or just like I'm currently being pulled to, like this Bloodlands. I haven't really used it a lot, but it really draws at me and I need to use it more. So the Cascade, another name for a waterfall. The Alpine Lake. So you can see, I mean, these are really grand. Ooh, the confluence. I actually live near the confluence of some rivers. I like that term, confluence. The Cloud Veil. That's neat. The clouds over the mountain. But see, I mean, like, there's just something about these cards that feels like almost like you're there. Shadow. And I don't always like black and white decks, but this one, it almost feels like an indie deck. I'm not sure if it wasn't in the beginning. The Caldera. There's a huge one in Yellowstone. The Old Bridge. So far, that's the first man-made thing in these that I've pulled. The Glacier. But there's like a real grandeur to these cards. I think I pulled the Solitary Peak like a lot. I have used it. And the Cavern. There's been a lot of C words on the ones I've pulled here. So, anyway, if anybody's watching this who's watched my other Bloodlands videos and has thoughts about this deck, I'd love to hear, because I'm curious. Like I said, I'm kind of curious why so many people are viewing those in particular. So let's see. Let me put these back. Okay. On to the next one. Is also a really recent acquisition. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the Loputyn Oracle. I think I did a recent video with it. I had just heard about it, and I really love wolves. And it had also been mentioned it was sort of like not just like a shadow deck, but something that kind of pulls, it's like the sorry, I'm trying to think and pull at the same time, is sort of the beginning of one thing and the end of another, or the crossing of divides, and I'm in a period of my life where there's a lot of that going on. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. The reason that took a lot longer and you'll hear me pause is because some of the cards are a little more like sexually explicit, and I don't know YouTube, like if that's okay or not. So I wanted to choose ones that I knew I could show. So let's see. Hopefully you can't hear people talking in the background. I think you might. It's getting kind of loud out there. So this is number 8, and there's not words on the cards. But you can see the images. There is a guidebook that does go into the cards. 11, 13, 17. Oh, a lot of cards that pulled come right after each other. 18, 14, 4, 25, and 34. So seeing these and seeing the Bloodlands actually makes me, like I said, look, I haven't worked a lot with this one, but I feel very drawn to it, and I want to work more with it. So hopefully, I know after doing this video, sometimes it helps doing videos like these because you can, I feel like I can get a sense of, you know, like I'm showing y'all, but in some ways showing myself too, right? Because I have so many decks, it's like, it's easy to just use the same ones over and over, but by pulling them out and showing them to you, I get a sense of like, oh yeah, that one's actually useful to me in this way, or I might like to use more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we have 5 more to go. This is another deck that I got. It wasn't like my second deck, but it was one of the earlier decks. I was actually on a trip with a friend. Actually, it was the first person I saw other than my husband in person. After, it was before Omicron, so it was in that sort of first wave in like, I think the summer of 21, where it seemed like COVID maybe was like not as bad anymore. Little did we know what the